Things First is sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
Good morning and welcome to First Things First. How is everybody on this random Tuesday morning?
Wonderful. I realize I don't have
Nick, I think you look fantastic. I think you look like a superstar. If that outfit was an NBA player, it's Tatum-esque.
Oh, there we go. Thank you very much. What up, Vinny?
What's going on?
Jenna, you look spectacular as always.
Thank you.
I like your hair today.
Thank you. Pass the compliment ball around. That means you look good today.
wow.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
By
He
default.
was just waiting
Well,
for
we
it.
got
Big
all
win.
that
Set
out of
this
the way.
whole thing up.
I got a haircut, by the way.
Looks great.
Well, okay.
Big Tuesday show for you today. The Lakers are holding tryouts. Brady hasn't washed his hands of New England. It's a Purell thing. But we start this morning with a head-scratching night for the Houston Rockets. Here we go. Houston, winners of 6 in a row in town to face the Knicks last night. Russell Westbrook's shot was not falling early, but attempted often. James Harden was also struggling. Can't finish the layup right there to make matters worse. Harden gets dropped by Bobby Portis. Harden didn't like it. Chris Rock did. Oh! Somehow, though, Houston still had a chance to send this game to overtime, but Russ with the miss. Another one. Theme of the night. Rockets lose 125-123. Nick, you were at this game. Was this just a bad game, or was this a bigger concern for Houston?
It was an awful opening 34 minutes of the game. With 2 minutes left in the third quarter, they're down by 19 points. And now, from that moment forward, they played great, but it wasn't quite enough. They cut it to 2 a couple of times and cut it to 1 at the very late in the game, but it was not quite enough. But I would like to congratulate the Houston Rockets, because to me, that's the bigger story here. If we are now to the point to where a random Monday night loss by 2 points to the New York Knicks is worth leading a television show, then that means we're now treating them like the team they actually are, which is one of the best teams in basketball. Because we don't do that with many. We do it with the Lakers. The Clippers, if we did that, every bad loss for the Clippers, we would have led a lot of shows with them. We don't do it for the Clippers. Hell, we don't even do it for the Bucks. Bucks had a bad loss last night, I think.
Yep.
And so
the Bucks lost to the Heat.
Yeah, but
The Rockets lost to the Knicks.
Yeah, no. They lost to a terrible team, no doubt about it. A Knicks team that actually, oddly, it kind of has the personnel to give them a bit of trouble because they have an abundance of power forwards. So the Rockets are short but strong. So the Rockets usually can bully people. You're not going to be able to do that with the Knicks. So listen, the Rockets played poorly for 3/4 of the basketball game, but I think it is noteworthy of where they must be right now if losing a close game to the New York Knicks is worth leading a show.
Which is actually a positive sign for the Rockets.
Well, it's not positive that they lost. It's positive that you are now being judged.
Taking them a little more seriously as a potential contender right now. That's why we're leading with it on a Tuesday morning.
Yeah,
That's something. I did not expect that.
I want to give Nick a round of applause for managing to spin a bad loss into a positive.
Take.
Nick, you are the master of narrative.
That was excellent.
I will give you all the credit.
It's not a narrative.
No, it's a great take.
I didn't pick that we started with this. I just went to the game. I'm bad luck for the Rockets.
And I went to the game too.
Get
Okay, what was your takeaway? What was your takeaway?
My takeaway, not anything close to that. It's not Armageddon or anything like that for the Rockets. It's a random Monday night game where they took an opponent lightly, and that opponent bullied you, basically with Bobby Portis, Mitchell Robinson, Taj Gibson, all those guys. They don't have the size. Now, granted, the teams that you're going to go against in the playoffs when it matters don't have the size, but they do have the savvy. And you wonder if there's a formula that just pound the ball inside, try to wear them out. Like, at some point, you're going to wonder if James Harden and Russell Westbrook, Russell's basically playing like de facto center when he doesn't have the ball. As far as an offensive rebounder, James Harden is playing a power forward on defense sometimes. If you're going to take the legs out from these guys, maybe that's the formula to try to combat them spreading the floor, shooting threes, getting to the basket all the time.
Are we just resigned to the fact that the Rockets are going to lose the rebounding game every night? Well, they were out-rebounded by what last night? 30-something?
31.
31. I would say we talked about whether this is a blip or a trend. So I wrote this as a scary, scary blip. They shot 36%. They missed 36 threes. So when I asked Dusty, our research, I said, how many threes did they say? 36. I said, oh, my gosh. They must have shot terribly. Like, no, they shot 36%. They just take a lot of shots and miss a lot of shots. So there's a famous Mike Tyson quote that I think like sums up this entire Rockets experience. The Mike Tyson quote is, everybody's got a plan until you get out-rebounded by a differential of 31 and lose to the 19 and 42 Knicks. So The reason why I like this quote, and it's a famous quote and also like super specific for today's game, is maybe this doesn't
Oddly
work.
specific to this game.
I know. Well, we pulled
You
it up.
probably were like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy.
No, you know what? I was in the car where he came in, and I said, I think a Tyson quote here is perfect.
It's gonna work, yeah. And only this one. Go on.
No, I
said maybe it doesn't work if.
Maybe it doesn't work, period. Like, I think you got to look at it and be like, huh, this might not work.
Okay, or maybe Russell Westbrook, who's been playing like an MVP for 2 months, had an off night. He was 9 of 19. And this whole idea of, oh, well,
why is 9 and 19 an off night?
9 of 19 from the field.
That's not a terrible.
Okay, well, he's shooting 52% since January 1st, and he's averaging 32 points a game since January 1st. So I would consider a night where he shoots 45% and scores 24 as an off night.
That's not an off night. That's a fine night.
Okay.
That's not an off night, Nick.
Okay.
I love Russ, but it's not an off night.
It is an off night for how he's played the last 2 months. The reason they have been in this conversation the last 2 months is because of how well Russ has played. And to your concern of, well, he's getting leaned on, he has to play center, it's going to wear on him late in the game. Can we show Russ's last 2 baskets of the game? Because they don't look like a man who's exhausted. First one comes...
Actually, I was talking about Harden.
With a minute. Okay, well, Harden didn't look like a man who was exhausted last night either. Here's a 3-point game. It's a minute 10 left, and how about I just dunk on the entire team's face? The exact time time down the court, how about I get right to my spot? He wasn't doing that enough last night. Again, we can do the chicken little sky is falling because the Rockets lost to a bad basketball team. We can. If they had lost to a team and Russ had played really well, I'm not that concerned. They have, since Capella last played, they're 10-3. They have a 1-point loss to the Jazz on a buzzer beater, a 2-point loss to the Knicks where Harden had the potential, or Russ had the potential game tire and it rimmed out, and a bad loss where Russ didn't play, I think, to the Suns. Like, this is...
So they lost to the Knicks and the Suns. That's weird.
Well, one of them, Russ didn't play, so most teams...
Well, when Kemba doesn't play for the Celtics, it doesn't matter at all.
You mean inconsistent arguments from Nick? No, I mean, that never happens.
What is it?
It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird.
There's the difference... I don't mean to be rude, but I'm not certain if anyone knows what they're talking about. There are teams built like Boston that have almost a surplus of high-level B-plus players that if one guy's out, someone can fill that void. There's a team built like the Rockets that has 2 superstars. And if one of those guys is out, like against Phoenix a few weeks ago, they're going to be in a bad spot. And if Russ has a less than efficient game than he expected, they're going to be in a bad spot, especially if R.J. Barrett has the best game of his life. Like, this is...
He did, by the way.
Yeah, he did. And Wayne Ellington came off the bench and hit 3 straight threes and went 5 of 6. There are little minute moments that are the difference in this basketball game. People, you want to say this is a trend, that's fine. You want to pull up a Mike Tyson quote, that's fine. They knew they were going to get out-rebounded once they got rid of Capella. They have been fine since then. This is a blip, not the sky's falling.
Nick, if you listened this morning, I never said that the sky is falling for the Rockets. I just think this is a 1-game sample size. I think actually with their personnel, they put themselves in their best possible position to maximize what they have to get as close as possible to their personnel ceiling. Now, that ceiling may just be the second round of the playoffs because you have the Clippers and Lakers who can elevate their game to a higher level than you, but it takes away some of the variance that can happen in a first round of a playoff season. If you get to the second round and you get to a Game 5 against the Clippers and Lakers, then you give yourself a chance.
All right, so it wasn't Houston's best effort. There were other better efforts last night. Let's start with the best pro dunk of the night. Here we go. Check out Lonnie Walker throwing down the vicious one-handed slam.
Best hair in the NBA, best dunk of the night?
In the NBA.
Oh, it's definitely the best hair.
Get out the way.
Who else? Who else? No. He's got the best hair in the NBA. Jeremy Lin's gone now, so he's got the best hair in the NBA.
You don't like Kuzma?
This is the best.
Best college dunk of the night, Duke freshman Cassius Stanley, putting another play right on his highlight reel.
Cassius Stanley projected to go 36 to the Detroit Pistons.
Oh, Vinny.
How about that?
I'll move him up a notch after this.
Vinny,
I'm
on
the
Pistons, he says.
Oh, he's
with
with
all
the
the
Pistons?
Detroit.
You like him?
Okay.
They need that. Look, they need a bunch of stuff over there, all right?
If he's projected to go in the second round, I project him to go back to Duke. If he's
that's right.
He should go back to Duke.
All right, on to the best move of the night. Rookie of the Year candidate John Morant with the handles.
That's how you embarrass a guy without getting a forearm shiver.
That is the most overrated move in the NBA. Chris Paul does it well, and everyone else like, oh, look.
It's effective.
It's barely effective.
I mean, it was pretty effective in this moment. It tricked the Hawks.
Did you see that he doesn't care about the Rookie of the Year?
Allegedly.
Do you think he cares?
Absolutely
I
he
think that's
cares.
an answer you give. Do you care? I don't care. Just want to win. On to the best big man handles tonight. Kelly Olynyk with the nasty step back to lose Brooke Lopez.
Oh.
Where'd he go?
Oh, I like that, Kelly.
3 threes tonight. Not tonight. Well, yeah, I'm predicting 3 threes tonight.
But he also had 3 threes.
He also had 3 threes last night. So it's,
Yeah, these are crazy coincidences.
Look at that. Kelly Olynyk. Last time we saw him on a highlight, he was ripping Kevin Love's shoulder.
See, I knew he was going there.
I didn't like
Cost LeBron title. Now he's
How about the best draft rumor of the night, where Washington is reportedly looking at taking Tua with the #2 overall pick?
What does that mean for
Didn't they take Dwayne Haskins last year?
is this real? Nick, you buying this?
Oh, I'm buying it. The people in Washington now have no connection to Haskins. And if you think Tua's a star, but by the way, Tua can sit this year. You play Haskins, see how well he plays, see if you can flip him for something in the future. If you got the #2 pick and there's 2 star quarterbacks in the draft, I am buying it at least as a possibility, and certainly to maybe up their own ability to trade out of that spot if someone else wants to move in there to make sure they get to it. Yeah, I'm buying it.
'Tis the season for the smoke screens.
Oh, there you go.
Here we go.
On to the best new coach of the night, Floyd Mayweather, who says he can teach Deontay Wilder how to beat Tyson Fury in their upcoming rematch.
Well, apparently, maybe just not coming to the ring with 40 pounds of armor is
That would
going to
help.
be,
That would help.
you know, the solution.
I-
But
Go ahead.
I actually love this.
I do too.
I think, listen, Floyd, say what you want about Floyd, and I'm no big fan of Floyd outside of the ring. He is the most technically sound boxer, arguably ever, certainly of the last 35 years. And you can't hit him. And so if he could teach Deontay Wilder 10%,